On every journey toward success, the beginning always stems from something that seems simple, desire, but not a vague, aimless wish. It must be a burning desire, a fire within that never goes out, no matter the failures, rejections, or obstacles. Napoleon Hill called this the first and non-negotiable requirement if you truly want to think and grow rich. Without a strong desire, every plan is meaningless. Without desire, every goal will be drowned by procrastination and doubt. But Hill didn't just say, desire success. He gave 6 specific steps, like a formula you can apply immediately. First, define the exact amount of money you want. Don't just say, I want to be rich. Be clear, I want to have $100,000. Second, answer honestly. What are you willing to give up to get it? Time, effort, comfort, or even short-term pleasures. Third, set a definite deadline. Without a timeline, a goal will remain a dream that never comes true. Fourth, create a concrete plan, even if it's imperfect at first. Action is always better than waiting. Fifth, write all of the above into a personal statement. A declaration of commitment to yourself, to read and see every day. Sixth, read that declaration out loud twice a day, once in the morning when you wake up and once at night before you sleep, as a reminder to your mind that you are living with purpose. A burning desire isn't just a spark of excitement. It's the disciplined energy that turns dreams into action. When you repeat your declaration every day, you're teaching your subconscious mind, I don't just dream, I live to make it real. And one day, what you once desired will become the life you are living. Faith, the invisible key that leads to visible treasure. In every journey toward success, desire is a flame, but faith is the wind that keeps that flame alive through storms of doubt, failure, and pressure. Napoleon Hill affirmed that when a person combines burning desire with unwavering faith, they activate a hidden power, infinite intelligence. This is not blind or superstitious belief, but a mental state that can be programmed, strengthened, and nurtured daily. Faith is not born by chance. It is shaped by the thoughts you nurture every day, by the words you whisper to yourself each morning, and by the way you face adversity. Hill called this process autosuggestion, the intentional repetition of positive thoughts until the subconscious accepts them as truth. And once the subconscious believes, it begins to act as though that belief were reality, attracting circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with it. Conversely, if you plant seeds of doubt, fear, or helplessness into your mind, your subconscious will also turn those into reality. Unconsciously, but precisely. Hill once said, you are the master of your fortune or misfortune through the faith or doubt you allow to dominate your mind. That is why faith must be consciously chosen and cultivated every single day. When faith is paired with rightful desire, it doesn't just help you overcome adversity. It unlocks creative powers far beyond imagination. Faith helps you see light where others only see darkness. It gives you the strength to keep going when everything around you says you should give up. It doesn't just change the way you see the world. It changes the way the world sees you. Start with a small thought. I can. Repeat it long enough, and the universe itself will begin to believe it with you. In the journey of wealth building and self-development, one of the most crucial principles emphasized by Napoleon Hill is autosuggestion. This is not just a dry psychological concept, but rather a key to reprogramming the subconscious mind and reshaping your life in the direction you desire. Simply put, autosuggestion is a process of intentionally planting specific messages, thoughts, and images into your mind about who you want to become, what you want to have, or what you aim to achieve. Our subconscious mind does not distinguish between right or wrong, true or false, positive or negative. It merely absorbs whatever is repeated consistently and emotionally. If you repeatedly tell yourself, I can't do it, I'm poor, or I don't deserve it, your subconscious will accept those ideas as truths and turn them into your lived reality. On the other hand, if you feed your mind positive affirmations like, I'm improving every day, I can overcome any challenge, or I'm becoming wealthy and successful, your subconscious will also embrace those signals and begin to align your behaviors, emotions, and decisions with that new belief system. Hill emphasizes that no thought, whether positive or negative, can penetrate the subconscious without passing to the gateway of autosuggestion. That means you must be intentional, persistent, and emotionally engaged in each repetition. A goal declaration read aloud every morning and night, an affirmation taped to your mirror, or even a silent phrase whispered repeatedly in your mind. All are powerful methods to begin taking control of your mental state. And once you can control your mind, you can control your destiny. Autosuggestion is not delusion. It is a tool that transforms thoughts into reality. Successful people are not necessarily more talented. They have simply reprogrammed the way they think, feel, and respond to the world. And you can start doing the same right now with the very words you choose to speak to yourself. On the journey to success and wealth, many people mistakenly believe that the more they know, the more valuable they become. They throw themselves into learning everything, from economics, psychology, and marketing to digital technology, with the hope that one day they'll be good enough to finally begin. But as Napoleon Hill emphasized in Think and Grow Rich, it's specialized knowledge, not general knowledge, that forms a foundation for creating real wealth. Specialized knowledge doesn't mean you have to become a bookworm or an expert in every field. In reality, the world's wealthiest individuals like Andrew Carnegie or Henry Ford didn't know everything, but they had a clear understanding of what was essential to their goals, and they knew how to find the right people to handle the rest. That's the power of specialized knowledge. It's a sharp, focused tool, not broad and scattered. When you possess a deep understanding in one specific area and know how to organize it into a system, you create real value for the market, something people are willing to pay for. That might be copywriting skills, F&B business strategy, in-depth knowledge of real estate investing, or the ability to analyze financial data. As long as it solves a specific problem, you already have the foundation to generate income. Napoleon Hill also made it clear that you don't need to hold all the specialized knowledge yourself. You just need to know how to organize it into a mastermind group, a network of expert minds you can trust and collaborate with. A successful entrepreneur is not someone who does everything alone, but someone who knows how to use the right people at the right time. So instead of trying to learn it all, spend time identifying a field you're truly passionate about, where you can create tangible value. Then dive deep into that specialization and build a network of people whose expertise complements your own. Success doesn't depend on how much you know, but on whether you know what truly matters and what actions you take with it. Imagination is the foundation of every great achievement. No building, invention, or remarkable career could ever come into existence without first beginning as an idea, a sudden spark in the human mind. Napoleon Hill once said, "Imagination is the workshop of the human mind, where plans are fashioned." It's not a game of daydreaming, but a serious tool of success. Hill clearly identified two types of imagination: synthetic imagination and creative imagination. Synthetic imagination is the ability to rearrange old experiences, knowledge, and observations, much like using available materials to build something new. This type of imagination is commonly used in business, strategy, and product innovation, where understanding and experience are restructured to create new value. In contrast, creative imagination is a special gift that only emerges when a human mind vibrates at a high frequency. It's when you receive ideas without knowing where they come from, those hunches, gut feelings, or bold, unprecedented thoughts. Creative imagination is what allows an artist to paint a world that has never existed, a scientist to discover a solution to an unsolvable problem, or an ordinary person to see opportunity where no one else believes it exists. What's remarkable is that strong emotion is the catalyst for creative imagination. When you desire something deeply enough, when you truly want and believe in something, your mind will naturally begin seeking ideas to serve that desire. Emotion generates mental energy, and that energy activates the brain's creative region. That's why big ideas often arrive not when you're trying hard to think, but when you're living with passion and deep aspiration. Imagination has no limits, but it only awakens when you nurture with true emotion and a clear purpose. In a world where everything begins with an idea, the one who possesses deliberate imagination will lead, not follow. On the journey to transform aspirations into reality, organized planning is the crucial bridge between dreams and tangible success. No matter how brilliant your goal may be, without a clear plan, it remains just a fleeting idea in your mind. Napoleon Hill emphasized that no wealth can be formed without first beginning with a realistic, feasible plan that is acted upon immediately, regardless of whether you feel ready. A good plan doesn't just live on paper. It must be put into action, continuously improve, and flexible enough to adapt to ever-changing circumstances. As you begin to take steps forward, failures may occur, and that is natural. However, the difference between those who succeed and those who quit lies in how they respond to failure. Successful people don't see failure as the end, but as a sign to recalibrate the plan. That's the mindset of adaptability, the willingness to try again with a better strategy. An essential element of effective planning is collaboration with a mastermind group, a circle of experienced, like-minded individuals who complement each other's knowledge and perspectives. When many minds align toward a common goal in harmony, the collective power generated far surpasses the sum of individual efforts. But harmony is key. If conflict arises within the group, the shared goal can easily be compromised. Therefore, it's vital to choose companions carefully and build a foundation of trust and openness. Organized planning is not a one-time task. It is a living process that demands constant observation, adjustment, and restructuring. After all, no path to success is a straight line. But with each guided step, each timely correction, and each team member playing their role with clarity, aspirations gradually take shape into concrete outcomes. And from there, success is no longer a matter of luck. It becomes a deliberately crafted process. On the journey to achieving success and wealth, decisiveness is not just a skill. It is a fundamental cornerstone. According to Napoleon Hill, the wealthy individuals and great leaders he studied all shared one common trait. They made decisions quickly and changed them slowly, only when absolutely necessary, and only after gathering sufficient facts, not based on fleeting emotions or outside opinions. Being decisive does not mean being reckless. On the contrary, it reflects solid confidence born from clarity of purpose. An indecisive person is often someone who lacks clear goals or lets emotions and fear take control. And this hesitation is the most dangerous enemy of wealth. It causes you to miss opportunities, lose direction, and remain stuck in endless choices without ever truly taking action. In today's world, overloaded with information and almost infinite options, the ability to make firm decisions is more valuable than ever. Successful people don't let their minds be overwhelmed by noise. They listen, they filter, but in the end, they stand firm on their own choices. They understand that decisions lead to actions, and only action creates results. On the other hand, changing decisions too easily, especially under the influence of others, is a sign of lacking self-trust. It leads to a cycle of procrastination, self-doubt, and ultimately, surrender. Hill emphasized, the person who hesitates will never achieve anything great. If you want to succeed, you must train your mind to think like a leader, learn to focus, analyze swiftly, and make clear choices. Once decided, act immediately, and if adjustments are needed, make them with reason, not emotion. The world belongs to those who dare to choose their own path and walk at the end. Decisiveness is the key that unlocks the door to success. Persistence, the insurance against failure. On the journey to success, talent, luck, or intelligence are merely starting points. What truly determines whether you reach your destination is persistence. Napoleon Hill once said, "There is no such thing as permanent failure if you don't give up." This isn't just a motivational quote. It's a truth proven by thousands of successful people. True failure only arrives when you choose to stop. Before that, everything is merely temporary. Persistence means continuing to move forward even when others have stopped. It means falling 10 times but still rising the 11th. It's holding on to your dream even when it's doubted, mocked, or rejected, like a flame that refuses to die. Persistence isn't flashy or loud, but it is your insurance against failure. If you persist long enough, opportunities will reappear, paths will reopen, and even the most tightly shut doors will eventually yield to an unyielding will. You may not be the most talented. You may lack experience or resources. But if you have persistence, you possess something even the most gifted often lack: the endurance not to give up. Look at the world's most successful people, from Thomas Edison to Jack Ma. All of them failed. All of them were rejected. But the one thing they never did was quit. Life is not always easy. There will be days you want to give up, moments when you question whether the struggle is even worth it. But it is precisely in those moments that you are being tested, not on your abilities, but on your belief. If you still have a glimmer of hope, still hold a shred of courage to take one more step, then you have not failed. Remember, persistence doesn't guarantee immediate victory, but giving up is the fastest path to certain failure. Decisiveness is the key that unlocks the door to success. On the journey to success, no one can walk alone. Napoleon Hill called this the power of the mastermind, the strength of a group of advisors, where minds come together, united by a single purpose in a spirit of harmony. This is not merely collaboration. It is a fusion of intellect, emotion, and willpower from multiple individuals to create a force far greater than any one person could ever achieve alone. When two or more people share ideas, contribute their expertise, and support one another with trust and mutual respect, something miraculous happens. A new collective intelligence is born, stronger, more creative, and deeper than any single mind. It is in this space that raw ideas are refined, incomplete plans are completed, and individual weaknesses are offset by other strengths. A mastermind group offers not only economic benefits to the creation of realistic and effective strategies, but also immense spiritual value, the feeling of companionship, of being understood, and of constantly drawing inspiration. Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest individuals in history, once stated that all his wealth and success came from maintaining a group of about 50 advisors. He'll emphasize that a mastermind doesn't need to be large. It needs to be right. The right people on the right frequency, with the right commitment. Members of such a group are not just collaborators. They are fellow travelers in the journey of both personal and financial growth. The true power of the mastermind lies in its ability to create an energy field where ideas are amplified, dreams are ignited, and souls are deeply connected. It is where the weak can grow strong, the lost can find direction, and a small idea can become a life-changing turning point. When you find your true mastermind group, you are not just expanding your knowledge, you are expanding yourself. Within every human being lies an immensely powerful energy, so potent it can create life itself. That is sexual energy. Napoleon Hill referred to it as primitive creative energy, a latent force that can either elevate a person to the peak of success or drag them down into the abyss of failure. The key difference doesn't lie in whether one possesses this energy, but in how it is transmuted. From raw instinct into drive, from impulse into accomplishment. Sex transmutation is not about repressing or denying desire, but rather redirecting it toward higher purposes, such as art, science, leadership, or business. It is a refinement of instinct into creativity. Great men, from scientists and artists to successful entrepreneurs, often carry an intense sexual energy, but they do not squander on base indulgences. Instead, they channel it into writing, composing, inventing, and building. What makes this energy especially effective is its deep connection to intense emotions, love, romance, the desire to be seen, to be affirmed. When these emotions are concentrated and focused on a clear goal, they ignite the fires of creative imagination and trigger a persistence stronger than almost any other force. You will endure more, aim higher, and desire deeper, only when you transmute rather than dissipate. However, this transformation does not come from intellect alone. It requires conscious awareness, a clear purpose, and an uplifted heart. Successful people don't flee from sexual energy. They own it, govern it, and use it as sacred fuel to fulfill a higher mission. When sexual energy is transmuted correctly, it not only helps you succeed, it transforms you into the highest version of yourself. The subconscious mind is one of the most powerful gifts that humans possess, yet few truly understand it or use it correctly. In the philosophy of Napoleon Hill, the subconscious is not merely a silent part of the mind working behind conscious thoughts. It is a bridge between the finite intelligence of man and the infinite intelligence of the universe, a gateway through which great ideas, creative inspiration, and divine guidance can be transmitted to us. Unlike the rational mind, which is limited by logic and personal experience, the subconscious operates automatically, constantly receiving, processing, and storing every impression from life, whether through images, sounds, emotions, or repeated thoughts. What's crucial to understand is that the subconscious does not differentiate between right or wrong, positive or negative. It simply absorbs whatever you repeat often and associate with intense emotions. Therefore, if you consistently feed it fear, anxiety, or doubt, the subconscious will shape those into reality. On the other hand, if you nourish it with faith, desire, positive emotions, and vivid images of success, the subconscious will act as a silent partner, subtly guiding you toward your dreams. Napoleon Hill emphasized that emotion is the indispensable catalyst for programming the subconscious. A lifeless positive thought has no power, but a burning desire repeated daily with deep belief will imprint itself into the subconscious and seek expression in the material world by any means, through opportunities, intuition, or strange coincidences. The subconscious does not demand perfection. It requires deliberate repetition and genuine emotion. Guard the gateway to your mind like a loyal soldier. Tell yourself every day the things you wish to become, because sooner or later, what you plan in the subconscious will become the reality you live. The human brain is not merely a physical organ. It is also a sophisticated broadcasting station of thoughts. According to Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, every thought we generate carries a form of energy, and that energy exists as vibrations, or in other words, frequency. Ordinary thoughts emit weak signals that barely leave a trace. But when fueled by intense emotions such as passion, love, or unwavering belief, the vibrational frequency of those thoughts becomes higher, stronger, and thus capable of spreading through an invisible energy field called the ether. Hill describes the ether as an ocean of invisible vibrations, a realm where all thoughts, ideas, and emotions coexist and interact. The human brain functions both as a transmitter and receiver of these waves. When you think about something with deep focus and intense feeling, you're not only programming your own mind, you're also sending a signal out into the world. Conversely, you can also receive signals from others, especially from those whose thoughts are vibrating on the same frequency. This explains those sudden flashes of intuition, like when you think of someone and they call you shortly after, or when you feel compelled to do something without knowing why. These aren't just coincidences, but rather signs of thought connection at a high energy level through the field of ether. The key point is, you can learn to control the frequency of your thoughts. By attaching your ideas to powerful emotions like passion, a grand purpose, or a positive belief, you raise the vibrational level of your mind, thereby emitting a stronger signal and attracting aligned opportunities, people, and ideas back to you. Thoughts are never static. They are living energy, and each day you're sending out thousands of signals. The question is, what are you broadcasting to the universe, and are you doing it at a high enough frequency to create real change in your life? The sixth sense is not a mystical force beyond human comprehension. On the contrary, according to Napoleon Hill, it is a higher level of intelligence, a deep form of intuition that only emerges once you master the foundational principles of success: a burning desire, unwavering faith, relentless persistence, strategic planning, and creative thinking. The sixth sense is essentially the fully awakened creative imagination, a moment when you don't need analysis or reasoning. You simply know, I must do this. On your journey of personal development, you've likely experienced a moment of gut feeling about a major decision, even without solid proof or logical explanation. That is the manifestation of the sixth sense, a form of innate intelligence connected to infinite wisdom. Hill explains that when you fill your mind with grand goals, positive emotions, and deep faith, your subconscious begins to communicate with the ether, the universal energy field. From this field, your creative imagination starts receiving suggestions, insights, or warnings that seem to come out of nowhere. This is not a fleeting emotion. The sixth sense functions as the seventh level of human cognition, the highest tier in the map of consciousness, where brilliant inventors, visionary leaders, and pioneering spirits have all once arrived. In the moment when the sixth sense is active, you are no longer making decisions based on rational thought alone, but through a blend of sacred inspiration and profound inner experience. Not everyone can access the sixth sense. It only reveals itself once you've overcome fear, broken free from limiting beliefs, and begun living in alignment with your true purpose. At that point, you no longer live for success, you live to fulfill a mission greater than yourself. And when that voice of intuition speaks, listen, for it may very well be the voice of the universe's wisdom, guiding you toward the most destined path of your life.